SES Defender of Freedom transmitting data log for day 44 of the Galactic War. Data Archive, we are pleased to report a very productive day for Super Earth in this Galactic War. Today, we would receive a new major order, as well as mobilize another defense against the Terminids. We will begin today's report on the Terminid front. On the previous day, 4E Prime was liberated, giving Super Earth control over 2/3 of the planets in the Draco sector. This liberation would signify two new advantages. A new front is now available in Osha'une, and Crimsica is now cut off from nearby Terminid planets, with attack routes coming in from Meridia, Estanu, and 4A Prime. The three fronts for Day 44 will be in Hellmire, Crimsica, and Osha'une. At the start of Day 44, each front had already established liberation progress. Activities in the early hours were to continue the fight on these planets. The majority of super destroyers will be deployed to Osha'une in attempts to continue making progress against the current major order. After the first 8 hours, Osha'une would reach 36% liberation. The pace of this liberation is very high, considering access to the planet was only made available within the last 24 hours. Simultaneously, Crimsica would reach 16% liberation, and Hellmire would reach 11% liberation. In the following hour, the major order would end, resulting in failure. We were not able to reach and liberate Zagon Prime in the time allocated. Unfortunately, our failure has caused further procreation applications to no longer be accepted until further notice. However, following this, a new major order would then be dispatched by High Command. Civilian biomass collection teams are to gather and process inert Terminids for Element 710 on the planets in the Draco and Mirren sector. The major order is to gain control over the three planets in the Draco sector, 4E Prime, Crimsica, and Estanu, as well as Hellmire. Each of these planets need to be under Super Earth control by the time the order ends in 4 days. With this information, the Defender of Freedom would launch Operation Liber Tea 710. To complete this major order, there would be two main requirements. The first is to gain control over Hellmire and Crimsica. These two fronts will be the main focus during the major order. With a new strain of Terminid combined with the challenging weather conditions on both planets, it will be an uphill battle, but the time has finally come to liberate these two planets. While the offensives in Hellmire and Crimsica take place, it is critical that we fend off any attacks in Estanu and 4E Prime. Within 2 hours of receiving the major order, a new Termin Attack surfaced once again in Estanu. For a reason we don't yet understand, the bugs seem relentless to take back this planet. Helldivers are dropping into Estanu once again to hold back this attack. This attack, however, will be much smaller than the previous attack. It seems previous conflicts may have weathered down their numbers, and this is now a desperate attack. For the rest of the day, the conflict would be across 4 planets. The majority of super destroyers would support Estanu. Despite this, liberation would still steadily increase across the 3 planets, uploading defense and liberation data. The defense would be very close for the majority of the day, but by the end of the day, the defense was ahead by 8%. For the other 3 planets, despite shifting a significant number of super destroyers once the defense began, liberation would still increase considerably on these 3 planets. Osha'une raising to 60%, Crimsica raising to 46.83%, and Hellmire raising to 23.92%, leaving the Terminid front to look very promising by the end of Day 44. At the start of Day 44 on the Automaton front, very small footholds were establishing on Ostotu, Malevolent Creek, and Ubanea. Despite the majority of forces currently on the Terminid front, we are seeing progress being made in Malevolent Creek and Ostotu for the first time in a week. At the end of Day 44, initial footholds are starting to develop on the Automaton front. That is all for the data log on Day 44 Data Archive. We are continuing the defense in Estanu.